Hello, everyone, and welcome to the SourceForge Podcast. I'm your host, Bo Hamilton, Senior Editor and Multimedia Producer here at SourceForge, the world's most visited software comparison site where B2B software buyers compare and find business software solutions. Today, I'm joined by Lucian, CEO and co-founder of Anny, a platform that has become known really for handling just about any kind of online booking or resource management you can throw at it. Whether it's booking rooms, equipment, workspaces, shared facilities, that's a big one nowadays. The platform their focus is really giving organizations a flexible way to structure and sort of automate all the moving parts involved with bookings. And I think it's a pretty interesting moment for the space. Hybrid work, shared environments, and just like multi-purposed venues have really become quite popular over the years, ever since COVID, really. And it's also made scheduling and resource management a much bigger kind of operational challenge than it used to be. So we've got a lot to talk about today with Lucian. We're going to talk about how they approach that problem, what sort of trends are shaping the booking and resource management space, and then more broadly, how organizations are rethinking the way people reserve and share spaces. So Lucian, glad to have you here. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Bo. I'm really excited to share everything about Anny.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you here. I want to get right into it and ask you sort of your background before we get too far into your company. I'm just curious, like, what were you doing before starting this tech company?
That's a funny story, actually. As a child, I always told my teachers someday I want to become an inventor, and they just laughed at me and said, "That's not a real job." And now or later, I realized it's just called being an entrepreneur. And that's basically what I did my whole life. I started early when I was 16 and teamed up with my brother to organize smaller events. And one thing led to another. And we finally organized Germany's largest indoor pool party, which was quite of a milestone for us. And fast forward a few years, I was studying and we kind of hopped into this software space. And given our experience in event management, we thought, okay, we tackled so many challenges when it comes to coordinating different service providers, coordinating the venue, coordinating equipment. And also with our experience from working in a co-working space, we were really inspired by these shared environments. And we thought, okay, this is the future, but why is it still so hard to digitize all of that? And we set ourselves up to build something that organizations book anything, anytime, anywhere, and so we started Anny.
Wow. So okay, you mentioned this pool party. What was the pool party like? Were you producing music at the time?
I myself was working at a DJ at the party while coordinating all the stuff. I think we had beyond 100 employees for one event with more than 1,500 clients or guests coming from all over Europe, which was really, really fun and very unique experience.
Yeah, so you really just got to kind of experience the booking sort of challenges firsthand from that DJ experience. I got to ask, are you still DJing on the side, like a little side hustle, or?
Yeah, but only on like private parties and for some friends. But you cannot book me right now. Maybe in the future I'll have a booking page with Anny.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. Yeah, you're quite busy. But hey, tech CEO by day, DJ Lucian by night. That's pretty exciting. Yeah. Well, now what was the company like before Anny? Did it have, I don't know, a different name, different sort of set of tools and stuff it prioritized? How is it sort of? I guess my question is, like, how did it evolve into the kind of comprehensive platform suite we have now?
Absolutely. I think you need to be open to change all the time when starting a company. You never start with the finished product at first. In the beginning, we really focused on the event ticketing part and booking things relating to events. And we went further and had the experience with co-working spaces. We looked at meeting room bookings, desk bookings, and also coaching sessions that were bookable. And we realized that essentially all organizations need this booking system internally as well. So we added this kind of internal component while now being the booking system that's like completely horizontal, catering all kinds of use cases, both internal and externally.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, you can't expect to have all this comprehensive, solutions all right on day one, right? So you kind of have to build it out. Now, I also have to ask why Annie? How did you settle on that name?
It came basically from this idea of making anything bookable, and we stuck upon the word any and just thought, okay, it should also be a very unique and friendly name. So we put a double N.
Nice. Okay, so there's a pun. It's the pun. It's punny. It's punny. Now, when you started, I'm sure there was no shortage of booking, management platforms, and I'm sure the competition has continued to intensify over the months and years, right? How have you positioned Annie to just continue to stay competitive and just stand out from the crowd?
Absolutely. There's plenty of booking tools on the market, and differentiation is key to us. What we realized is that there are three key pillars that we do differently than other organizations. While talking with a lot of organizations, we found out that they have really unique approaches and unique booking workflows, and only few booking systems really match this kind of flexibility. But when they do, they are so complex or really costly that organizations just fall back to using Excel and email and sticking to inefficient methods to manage their bookings. So we set ourselves the major goal to being the most flexible and most customizable booking system with enterprise level features, but still saying very easy to use and approachable.
Well, no, I was just going to say, and you're kind of you have the holistic sort of view in mind too, right? You don't just sort of focus on into one particular area.
Exactly. This was quite a challenge while implementing Annie. And we took the inspiration from e-commerce, with the platforms like Shopify. You don't differentiate whether you're buying a shoe or something else. You just have an e-commerce system that allows you to sell any kind of products. And we did a similar approach and said, okay, everything for us is a resource, and the resource is limited by time and capacity. And you can build your booking page exactly the way you want with your rules, and just give it to your employees or to your customers.
Maybe you can walk me through the setup process, I guess. I'm curious about, if I were an organization looking into a booking platform like yours, what's sort of the best way to get started and sort of situated as seamlessly as possible?
Sure. So most organizations start with one particular use case. So first we're looking at what kind of resources are shared across the organization. What's maybe the most critical resource that is limited in capacity so much that people are eagerly waiting to get their hands on it. And then we focus on implementing that resource category, like maybe booking desks or booking parking spaces for a certain team or department. And then the great part is you can easily roll out to a larger scope and also add use cases very easily.
What about the sort of the feedback you receive from customers? Is there any sort of general feedback you receive? Like more people are mentioning, they really like, X feature over another feature, or maybe I don't know, was there like an aha moment they had when they started using your platform? They're like, oh, this just solves all my needs right here.
I think there's a few parts for that. I think one feature that all our customers really love to use is our 3D map experience. But that's later in the onboarding stage. It just gives you a visual representation of everything you would like to book. Most of the times it's the office space. So we have the 3D twin of the office. And in this space, you can just interactively pan around, zoom in and rotate. And we also put a people layer on top of that. So you can see where are my colleagues sitting. You can hover over them, see, okay, Bo is maybe interested in hiking. Let's chat about hiking at the coffee table. And you can really connect on a different level. So it's more than just a booking system. It's really social engagement and bringing communities and employees together in one place.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know you guys had this 3D mapping feature. How does that um how does that work? Are you able to kind of generate a map using sort of like AI components nowadays, or how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, we actually built everything from scratch. You can imagine it like having Sims on top of Google Maps. So we have our own map editor. You just put in a simple picture of your current floor plan, and then you can draw like in Sims and build your office space with multiple levels, multiple locations. Just drag and drop the furniture in and assign the resources that are bookable. So it's really streamlined and easy to use.
Wow. Yeah, I'm a very visual person, so I think that would definitely resonate with me. Yeah. Okay. So they're definitely, I could see them being surprised by that. How is your customer service and UI? Do they like, are they mentioned as being, really kind of easy to use, and do they resonate with customers pretty well?
I think some users need a bit getting used to the terminology we use, but once they really understand how any is structured, they love the extensibility, how it scales with their use cases, and how flexible they are in setting up booking rules and permission levels, and like also making it really fun to use for their customers or their employees.
Right. Just intuitive. I mean, the reason I ask is oftentimes I'll be playing either maybe it's a video game or I'm using a service, and a lot of times I'm just kind of perplexed by certain design choices, right? Because I feel like a lot of times these services or these games are designed by people who don't actually use the game or use the service, because otherwise the issue just wouldn't be there, right? And I feel like that's a pretty common experience. So just knowing also that your background with it as a DJ and booking events firsthand, you can kind of see, what works, what doesn't. And that just improves the overall experience,
It's a great point. I really want to stretch because you can compare Anny to being like the open world game of booking systems. And we really wanted to make it fun to use and sticky to use. So people love to go there and book something, in comparison to other systems that are just like multiple menu levels where you need to dig in deep, and it's just a hassle to use and nobody likes it.
Yeah. You gotta make it kind of almost whimsical and sort of fun. Like it kind of does sound like a video game in a sense with this 3D mapping, and that's really cool. Now, kind of going back to sort of the how clients and customers of yours use the service and the feedback they offer. What questions should they ask themselves before choosing a booking management platform that's right for them?
I think to begin with, you should ask yourself, what kind of shared resources do I really have? And it's surprising that they come up with a lot of ideas. Sometimes it's exhibition items, sometimes it's internal services like IT support, can be internal courses, and also events with customers. We have huge clients that use Anny internationally across the globe to book showrooms across the sales team, while others just use it to make simple meeting rooms bookable or their car fleet or anything else. So it's very, very diverse, and you have like all of the organizations have a variety of different resources. So it's fun to see like what comes together with each new customer. And then like the next question is, what really deserves a booking flow? Like, do we have a confirmation workflow somewhere? Do we have limited capacity? Or maybe do we just want to analyze how it's being used to then make data-driven decisions? Because there are studies that you can potentially save like 40% of your office space when switching to hybrid work, but people don't have the confidence to do this, to take this decision, because they don't know what's the current utilization and what's maybe the peak utilization. So they can safely downsize the office.
And I imagine they're able to, if they have any questions, concerns, maybe they're not able to find a particular answer to one of their questions, they can reach out to you. What's your customer service like?
Our customer service is actually one of our key features, because it's like mentioned in all of the reviews. And we are available personally. So you get to talk to experts during the onboarding and also after that. And for quick questions and setup related questions, we have an AI agent that is very capable and very patient to answer questions for 24/7.
I feel like that's so crucial for booking. You need to, I mean, there's such it's all about the relationships with the venue and the people at the end of the day. And I know that's true with a lot of businesses and stuff, but it's especially true with booking, I feel. And so, yeah, you don't want people to feel like, they're left in the dark after they book an appointment, or again, like they can't even book an appointment because maybe they're, I don't know, they have issues or concerns or whatever. So if they're able to reach out and get a response quickly, that's huge. Now, was there maybe a time that comes to mind, maybe an example where you really sort of went like above and beyond for a customer and helped them out with one of their needs? I'm sure there's probably a bunch of different examples, but anything that maybe stands out?
Yeah, there's a lot actually, because we are very obsessed with our customers. Like we talk to them daily. Myself as a CEO, I go into the chat support on a weekly basis just to have this direct feedback of what customers need and where they are struggling. But there was this one time I was on a trip to Munich and had a workshop with one of our enterprise customers there. And then on the way back, I got a push notification that a new client, an event venue, just signed up. And I thought, okay, I'm in the surrounding. Maybe let's give him a call and ask how he's doing. And we ended up like meeting at the event venue. I took a 30-minute drive to go there. He took me around, showed me all of his venues and like how he's coordinating the booking around that. And then we sat together and just set it up that step by step for him. And it was great to see like how he was, oh, and you can do that. That's great. And I needed to do all of this manually. And I think he was really excited to get going and simplify this.
Well, okay, you mentioned this AI chatbot that's in part of your service, and that just makes me think of kind of where things are going, and has me looking ahead into the future. Maybe you can share some of the upcoming sort of capabilities you're most excited for with Anny. Like, what are you maybe currently prioritizing or keeping a close eye on?
Yeah, AI is top of mind also for us, but we don't want to add AI as a fancy, nice to have feature. We want to really build a value with it. And when it comes to user interfaces, some of them work better with AI and others don't. Especially when it comes to our visual representation, this is something you cannot really replace by AI, but you can make other processes like booking something, asking simple questions. You can make this very playful by embedding it into a voice agent. So you may ask Siri or other agents like who's working at the office tomorrow and get a really good answer, or just ask for a meeting room that's available next Thursday afternoon for 10 people, and it will just give you some options that you can book with your voice. I'm really excited for this part that we are working on actively. And on the other hand, we are also looking at how we can simplify and accelerate the onboarding for customers and the configuration process. So imagine an admin co-pilot that can just do actions on your behalf, manage the bookings. You can tell them to cancel a booking or create new events and all of this stuff. And I think these features are very, very valuable and will make the life of our customers even easier.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're able to tackle some of those sort of maybe mundane sort of tasks, I think that's good. But at the same time, you got to, be cautious not to take away from that human relationship standpoint, because, we get too automated, you lose kind of that human relationship, that connection. And then you open up a can of worms. You have more problems than you started out with. Now, have you given much thought to sort of this agentic AI future? I know that's kind of where things are moving, where you have these sort of AI agents, maybe sort of the visual representation is like a chatbot, kind of going out and carrying out tasks on a user's behalf. Have you maybe thought about incorporating AI agents into your platform?
I think in the long term, we will implement it in terms of suggesting changes to detect like where you run out of capacity, and to automatically manage bookings based on rules that you define by natural language. I think in these applications, AI agents will be highly beneficial for us.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's tough to like predict where the industry would go, let alone, 6 months from now, a year from now, 3 years from now. It's everything's moving so fast, especially in the SaaS industry. So yeah, it's tough, but it sounds like you're prioritizing the right things and kind of proceeding cautiously and just ultimately probably just listening to your customers and seeing what they reach out, what they ask for.
Yeah, I think that's important to just not go ahead and build something you think everybody will use. We saw this with like proactive suggestions to book something, but most users will just dismiss those suggestions. So it's basically a useless feature because it takes on the autonomy of humans, and they want to keep that.
Right. I mean, we see that so often with companies rolling out these AI features that customers haven't even asked for. They just assume that this is what people want. Is that kind of, have you noticed sort of a feedback about, hey, I would love to have this AI chatbot be able to do X, Y, Z, or are people not really as interested in some of these automations, these new AI tools?
Currently, I don't have a lot of clients talking about this, but I think they will see the value once we have shipped it. But now we can already have so much improvement in their workflows with the current system that they are just like happy to use it this way.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's a good point too. I mean, you got to show the value sometimes before, and then have that kind of light bulb moment click for customers and people. Now, okay, let's look pretty far into the future, maybe 5 years from now. If you had to pick maybe one bold, maybe even a risky goal for Anny to achieve by, let's say, 2030, what would it be, and why would you be willing to go all in for it?
Actually, it didn't change over time. It's the mission we started with, to empower all organizations to simplify how they share the resources. And I think we want to become top of mind when you think about booking management and sharing resources. And we see like a lot of trends that go along with it, and like really push it in this direction.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I got one more sort of big picture question, and I think this is going to really sort of excite all the investors listening and tuning in right now. I'm curious what sort of excites you about the scale of the opportunity that Anny is tackling. Like how big can this category that you're in really become, and I guess what's left untapped in the resource management sort of market?
That's a good point, and it's pretty exciting as well, because when you build a horizontal booking system, you're tackling so many different use cases, and we are working in more than 40 different industries. So it's extremely hard in the beginning for your go-to-market strategy to really find your focus industry by industry. But the potential is huge because the total addressable market is unlimited, and you can scale, and you see it with other companies like Shopify and Amazon, how this horizontal approach dominates the market. And what excites me personally is seeing the network effects, that friends of mine come to me, and I didn't pitch them any, but they are just telling me, okay, I've used Anny now maybe to book my haircut. I have used Anny in my university to book a study desk at the library. And now I'm using Anny at my company to book meeting rooms. And you have these different touch points in life. What's really like summarizing our vision of having this Amazon-like experience, the Amazon for your organization, where you can just open one app, seeing transparently all the availabilities and resources that you can book, and booking it with just one tap. And that's really like what rewards me the most.
Yeah, that sounds really fulfilling, hearing that experience from friends and family. And I think it's interesting you mentioned that 40 different industries you sort of, cater to or encapsulate with your product and your service. I think you're in it's an exciting time to be in business. And I think that especially with like COVID kind of ushering us into this digital future more than ever, I really see the need for a service like yours and the potential like growth. It really kind of speaks for itself. So really, you give me a lot to think about, and I appreciate all the insights you've shared. And now for those interested in learning more about the platform, maybe getting in touch with you and your team, where should they go?
You can just head over to anny.co and look at our software and just reach out and get a demo.
Perfect. Anny.co. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Lucian, it's been a pleasure. I really appreciate you coming onto the show and talking with us.
Thanks for having me, Bo. It was a pleasure.
Thank you all for listening to the SourceForge podcast. I'm your host, Bo Hamilton. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all of our upcoming B2B software related podcasts. I will talk to you in the next one.